Well, the NBA as a whole, the vast majority of hot-taking Gen Zers on social media, nerds, and a plethora of know-nothing liars expressing massive amounts of slobber and other potential bodily fluids
I'm drenched.
all over their various mass media platforms on a daily basis while discussing the legendary exploits of LeBron James and Steph Curry are in absolute shambles right now, as both players have simultaneously dropped out of the play-in tournament standings at the near midpoint of the NBA season.
What?
Yeah, not the playoffs.
Playoffs?
The play-in tournament.
That's what's in.
Otherwise known as the top 10 teams in a conference containing just 15 teams overall. What I'm saying is these teams are pure poo-poo.
Human fecal matter.
It's a complete crap.
Just a few short years ago, Braun wanted the creator of the play-in tournament to be fired.
Whoever came up with that need to be fired.
Now, it is the sole source of his lifeline into the postseason. And as for the Warriors, hell, they're even lower in the standings than the Lakers, as both teams sit in the 11th and 12th slots currently. And now, the NBA hot stove will start percolating into overdrive on what kind of help the Warriors and Lakers could get their two aging superstars. LeBron James and Steph Curry, the two intrinsically connected within their super team era, which began on July 9th of 2010, when these three losers danced around on a stage during a damn smoke show and declared they'd win 8 titles together.
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
And within that absolute garbage can of an era,
It's garbage.
both of these players substantially built their own legacies on the backs of other all-time great players they begged, recruited to come team up. And now here we are at the end of the line, each with 4 rings apiece and each desperate to snag that coveted 5th title to catapult them into the next hierarchy of all-time greats. Because yeah, they both need it, but they find themselves amid the young and ascending other teams out in the Western Conference, and quite frankly, both of these players have been passed by. So now, ho-hum, what kind of trades could we dream up to get these guys more help? Perhaps Pascal Siakam to the Warriors? How about Zach LaVine to the Lakers? The Lakers, of course, who returned every piece from a team that was in the Western Conference Finals just a year ago, and at one point in that postseason were the odds-on favorites to win the title. Speaking of odds, these two teams began this year with the 5th and 6th best odds-on favorite in the entire league to win the title this season. Both teams now find themselves under 500 and yes, out of that play-in range. The Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets have better records than both of these teams. Of course, it couldn't possibly be either of these guys' fault. For a player in LeBron James, who amassed 2 super teams in the heart of his prime to steal 3 of his 4 career NBA titles, and won his 4th title with, in that season, a top 5 league-wide player in Anthony Davis.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's right. Anthony Davis, top 5 player in the 2019-2020 season. Don't think so? Take a closer look. The year the Lakers won that preseason exhibition tournament on the Disney campus, that for some reason some believe to be an actual NBA championship, Anthony Davis was first-team All-NBA and first-team All-NBA defense while dropping 26 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.3 blocks, and 1.5 steals per game, and finishing 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting that season and 6th for League MVP. Meanwhile, in the adorable little Mickey Mouse tournament that year, Davis led the postseason in overall scoring and win shares. And yes, that title is the only non-super team one LeBron has to his name in his entire 21-year career and counting. Curry, meanwhile, after vomiting all over himself in the NBA Finals, becoming the first team ever to blow a 3-1 lead in 2016 as the unanimous league MVP, mind you. Oh, and after winning an all-time NBA record 73 games in that regular season, he flew across country to beg Kevin Durant, a top 3 player in the sport, to come join him. These two freaking guys, who have made a career of needing more help, will look for it once again. And damn it, let's just stop this elaborate dance, shall we? Quit beating around the bush already. How the hell can we just get both of these players on the same team?
Who else you want to play with?
Steph Curry.
In what would amount to an absolute wet dream for the NBA league offices, as writers and media personnel all over the country would be on the verge of exploding in their pants over this one. That is, of course, until their heads start exploding off of their bodies while trying to figure out what player gets the lion's share of the blame when they predictably gag in the playoffs. For two guys as much to blame as anyone for the downfall of the NBA and death of competitive balance, it would be poetic justice to see them flame out in the twilight of their respective careers. But as there is little justice in life or sports, two idiotic teams are sure to bail them out in advance of the rapidly approaching trade deadline and get them both the help they've been clamoring for their entire careers.